on the plane to Omaha this weekend, and it's a 4 seats across. So it's like 2 seats on either side of the aisle.
2 and 2.
2 and 2, baby. And I'm on the aisle seat, and the gal in the window seat next to me, shade down the entire time. Yeah, shade down on the window.
She won't let little Chip take a peek?
No. Daddy went a little peep show of the clouds and the sky and the ground below, and nothing. Like, no fun in life. First of all, no conversation from her, which is a positive, which is a plus. I don't need conversation. I just need to see out the window.
What was her overall vibe?
She was all business. I think it was business.
Business in the front, business in the back.
Right. The double mullet.
Yeah. It's like the 2-seater, like the side by side. That is your flight wife. You are in a very intimate relationship for a very short amount of time.
That I try to be as intimate as possible.
I think that relationship says a lot about your actual relationship. What's Kim not letting you see in real life that you're just like, okay, let me see it, lady.
Let me just open it up. Open up the shade. I need it now. You're my wife, not my flight wife.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she just wouldn't open and like, it's not like I asked her to, but
yeah.
And again, she has the window seat, so it's her prerogative, it's her jurisdiction. I don't have any claims on this, but it's like, let a guy look out every once in a while. Like, don't you want to look out every once in a while, just see the world?
No, I mean, I guess every once in a while, but like, I'm a window seat guy.
You're a shade down guy.
I'm a shade down guy 99.9% of the time.
Why? Explain that to me.
I've just seen it before. And I do think there is a little element of like when there's a grown man just staring out the window for hours on end. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I get it.
The Purple Mountain's majesty.
Yes.
The waving, the grain, the seeds.
It's like
grain.
I'm just looking at the Paramount logo over here.
That is true, by the way. That is true. If you're watching a movie, which I was watching some movies on my laptop, so like you do want it dark there. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But I think it's probably tied into a lot of morning flights, a lot of nighttime flights where they just like keep it down. People are trying to sleep.
This was midday.
I can appreciate that. But I do think so. I sit at the window seat just so I can control that too.
Okay.
I do like that. I'm in control. It's like my little power trip. And it really does bother me when somebody on the opposite side of the plane, especially when it's the side of the sun.
Yeah.
When they keep that baddie open.
So you think because you have the window seat, you should be allowed to control the other window as well?
No.
You want both. Like, you should
be
able to pay for both. I think you could do that where it's like, yeah, I have window seat privilege, window seat plus.
Yes, window seat plus. That is real first class, is when you get a first on both sides. You control all the windows.
All the window. That's what it is right there. And you get to control. I think, okay, window seat and maybe like aisle seat plus, like ultra, like window seat magnum. You not only get to decide when the windows are up and down, you get to decide what everybody's watching.
We very quickly just stumbled into private jet flights.
No, but it's not private because it's other strangers that you can just ruin their entire trip.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Like,
so you're the king of this flight.
Yeah. You're watching Happy Gilmore. You are watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta for this entire 7-hour trip.
And it's obvious that they'd rather be watching the other thing.
The other thing, and you're just like, no, oh, you don't like that? Okay, then you're just going to watch the little, tiny little cartoon of the plane going across the country, slowly moving across its flight pattern. And you have to watch that the entire time because you mouthed off to me, and I have Window Excelsior Plus. I mean, because that's where we are in the society anyway. It's just cutthroat. Make it more like that on the plane. Where it's like you can buy, it's okay, so I want a nicer seat, but like I want to affect the other people too. Like you get to pick, like, all right, you're allowed to recline your seat. Oh, you're being kind of a dick, then they're reclining on you. I think you pay enough, you should be able to control that. Go ahead.
Would you pay less if somebody else could boss you around like that?
Yeah, if it depends on the length of the flight, but I think for like a under 3 hour flight, I could endure that for a discount. I think I could do that. How about you?
It'd have to be a pretty big discount, man.
Yeah. I think this is just the way to go. Another thing too is I think another way instead of having like first class and coach and business, whatever it is, is like you don't get to pick your seat, that you're sort of assigned randomly, okay? And then every 45 minutes...
music starts.
The music starts, and it is because of the musical chairs. The flight attendants get to decide who the coolest customers are.
Oh, okay.
And then they get to move up front to, like, the nicer seats are up front, and so they get to move up. So you have to act appropriately on these planes.
I like it. It's based on a social score.
It's based on a social score. It's based about, are you being polite? Do you have your shoes off? Are you mouthing off to the people around you? Are you mouthing off to the flight attendants? Are you rude? Are you taking up too much space? And guys like that just bother me. But yeah, so I think if you're not being a good person, so I think it urges people to act appropriately. Check yourself, prior to you wrecking yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's like every hour on the hour, maybe the flight attendants are like, all right, we're going to make some changes. You, sir, you're not acting right. You're back by the bathrooms. You're doing great. You're up in first class now.
Where do you think the behavior of leaving the window shade up or down?
I think that person just stays where they are and gets shunned for the entire flight.
That might be what's happening in real life already.
Yeah, I think that is what's happening. She's pulling down the shades on her social life.
Dude, well, I cannot wait to hear about the rest of your trip to Omaha. We're going to get into that today. Chips, your big comedy festival. We're going to talk about a Swiss man who set a very strange world record. And we're going to talk about one of the apparently sexiest shirts on the market, Chip.
One of the most salacious shirts, Hawaiian shirts that you can purchase.
It is going to get hot. It's going to get tropical. We'll still be people that love comedy. When the Sunburnt podcast returns. Stay tuned. Front desk.
Hi, this is Mr. Chantry in room 316. There is a naked man with a plastic knife standing in my room right now.
I'm calling the police right now.
Oh, wait. Do you guys have mirrors in your rooms?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. False alarm. This is just me.
Oh, my God. Chip, episode 18.
We're finally legal. We can vote.
We're finally legal. The episodes can vote. 162 days until Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise.
In Waikiki, Hawaii.
In Waikiki, the dream is real. You're going to be performing in Hawaii. We're still figuring out what everything's going to look like, but you guys are invited. This is our big push for the year. This week, Thanksgiving in Waikiki, we're doing it up right. We're going to be hanging out with the burnt ones. We're going to do an amazing set of shows the night before at the Blue Note Jazz Club. And now also a little bit, it's inside baseball perhaps, but sunburntpodcast.com is up and running.
Yeah. You got the potty up. I love it. It looks great. So check it out. There's more about the festival on there. You can find all of our shows. You can find some more fun stuff on sunburntpodcast.com.
Yeah, it's just the little thing. We're trying to build this thing up. Like we're figuring out how to do a comedy event in a quasi foreign land. As friends, as a unit, and hopefully as a community, if we can keep building this thing up and more people are snowballing on and coming with us. But I don't know. It's been like a fun new step this year. We've never done anything like it before, and it's a learning experience. It's taken a lot of effort. But yeah, website's up. We're running, and we're continuing to do new things every week to try and make this thing a real success.
And make sure you follow us and subscribe on the YouTubes and all. We have there's a page on Facebook now. All that fun stuff.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the website is it's a hub for all that stuff. So if you'd
go
be
to
so
Sunburnt
kind,
Podcast. Yeah,
just go follow us, subscribe, like some things, click some things. It all helps us out a lot. We're trying to do something that we think is going to be so fun, but it doesn't naturally exist in nature. So it's we're having to put a little elbow grease into it.
We're making it happen.
Joe, Chip, tell me about the Great American Comedy Festival, man. How was that?
Here's the thing. I might call the opposite of a tropical location.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought going in. Not so sure anymore. So I did the Great American Comedy Festival in Johnny Carson's hometown of Norfolk, Nebraska. Apparently, I guess Johnny Carson was born in Iowa, but was raised in Norfolk. Or they call it, it's spelled Norfolk, but if you're from Norfolk, they pronounce it Norfolk, Nebraska.
Really?
to keep the outsiders out, to keep them on their toes. I think. Yeah, they call
it.
The locals call it Norfolk.
That'll do it.
That was a thing. That was the thing I learned. Yeah. So it was in Johnny Carson's hometown. It was great. We did. It was two nights. I was there for 3 nights, but we did shows 2 nights, Friday and Saturday, at the Johnny Carson Theater, which is this I think it's 1,500 seat theater. It was great. I mean, it was packed. So much fun. Great comedians, including James Austin Johnson from SNL was on Friday night. It was great. And Yakov Smirnoff, legendary Yakov Smirnoff from Russia originally, and he was there. And man, they both killed each night, so it was a lot of fun.
What's James doing in his stand-up right now? Is it like impression stuff?
It's a little bit of everything. He was doing impressions, but he was also doing. There was a lot of country music talk. He's got a lot of thoughts on country.
Oh yeah, he's a Nashville guy.
Yeah, he's a Nashville guy. So yeah, he was just really both of them were a lot of fun. And then there was a lot of great other comics. There was about four comics on the show from all over the country that we did. We each did like 10 minutes, and then they did their headlining set, and then we did a late night set at this smaller place, which was great, which was a lot of fun too. So, but yeah, it was wild. I've driven through Nebraska. I drove through, actually coming home from your wedding in San Diego, Thomas.
You're welcome, Chip.
Mark, thank you. We came, and I think we stayed in a hotel, maybe like outside of Lincoln, Nebraska or something. I forget exactly where, but we might not have even stayed in Nebraska, but we drove through it. And that's all I know. So this is my first time spending time in Nebraska. Nebraska, Thomas, the only of the 50 U.S. states, it's the only triple landlocked state.
Triple meaning there's land on all sides or 3 sides?
Triple landlocked, I believe it means you have to go through 3 states before you, or 3 states, or maybe even like 2 states in Canada or whatever, before you get to the ocean. So it's
wow.
So it's not, there's no coast, and none of the neighboring states have a coast, and then it's like a level out. So it's like the most landlocked state, I guess, in the U.S. So not exactly tropical, but I will say, first of all, it was sunny and 85 degrees every day.
I mean, the summertime in Omaha doesn't sound too bad. Or Norfolk.
Yeah, Norfolk. So Norfolk's about 2 hours, I think, northwest a little bit of Omaha. So I flew in, and here's the thing. This is what surprised me. Triple landlocked, middle of the country, not tropical. Found some burnt ones literally right away.
Oh my gosh!
But like the second guy I met was wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
That's what I'm talking about, Chip. There's a tingle running through this country. People are jumping on board.
It's not the location. It's who you're with. You can be a burnt one in Nebraska. You can be a burnt one in Hawaii. You can be a burnt one in Maine, Pennsylvania, wherever you want. And we're gonna find out a guy, I think, kind of a burnt one in Switzerland today. But first of all, this guy. So the festival was amazing, and it's just run. But the town has this like organization. Johnny Carson had donated money, I think, many years ago for this theater, and which is beautiful. And then there's a guy who has. He took Johnny Carson's. It's just a labor of love. This dude did it. He took Johnny Carson's boyhood home in Norfolk, who it was kind of in disrepair a number of years ago, and he just totally renovated it and turned it into like this little, I guess, just a shrine and like a little museum for Johnny Carson. He doesn't live there. Like, nobody lives there. He's just like, I just want to do this. I don't even think he charges money for people to visit it. It's just like he just wanted to make it. So we were there. So everybody was just like the best in the committee. My buddy Pat Jansen, who used to be a stand-up comedian in Pennsylvania, he runs the festival now. He's like the president of the board there, and he's the one who brought me out. And they were just the nicest people. They're all volunteers. And so it's a 2-hour drive from the airport, and I had 2 of the best dudes, because you're kind of nervous. So they're like, one of the volunteers will be picking you up. His name is Justin. And you're just like, all right, Justin. Like, this. So now I just flew next to a lady who didn't open the shade for 2 hours. And now I have to sit in a car with a stranger for 2 hours and like make small talk. Like, that's exhausting, Thomas.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. I remember you actively being worried about this ahead of time.
Yeah, I was
and just like maybe trapped in there with them. Like, this isn't an Uber. Who knows what the conversation's going to be like?
I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to be nervous about the shows. And this dude, Justin, picked me up. He started doing comedy this year, so he is a stand-up comedian now.
Okay.
And he's also like on the committee or on the board or whatever for this festival. And he was there with his buddy Adam. Adam is just sporting a sweet Hawaiian shirt. And I'm like, right away, disarmed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just saw it, and it was like the blood pressure dropped 20 points.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is great. And then they were just the best dudes. They're both big comedy fans, and Justin's now doing stand-up, and we just talk shop the entire 2 hours. It felt like 15 minutes, and they were just like the nicest people, and a lot of fun, and just some great people in Nebraska. I got to say, so besides the shows were amazing. We went to this museum, the Elkhorn Valley Museum, which is like all about like Northeast Nebraska history with like all this cool stuff, but then half of it at least is like dedicated to Johnny Carson. So like old Tonight Show sets and old Tonight Show memorabilia, and like, you know, Doc Severinsen's suits and stuff. You know, it was a lot of fun. I had a RUNZA, Thomas. Can we talk about this for a second?
You had to RUNZA to the bathroom? What are we talking about here?
I mean, maybe. I've never heard of these things before. There's restaurants dedicated to them, fast food restaurants, literally just called RUNZA or RUNZAs, RUNZA.
Mm-hmm.
It's apparently maybe like Czechoslovakian originally, but it's like a Nebraska thing.
I've never heard of this.
The best way I can describe it, another comedian apparently in a derogatory way that they did not appreciate referred to it as a Nebraska Hot Pocket, but they were like, knock that off right away.
Yeah.
But basically it was this thing. It was maybe about like 6 or so inches long, you know, whatever. It's a pastry. So it's just picture almost like a Pillsbury croissant kind of pastry, you know?
Yeah.
Stuffed with ground beef, cabbage, and onions.
I'm in. That sounds pretty interesting.
It was delicious. It was so good. It's like it's almost like their version of the cheesesteak, I feel like, you know. It's just you got the steak, you got the onions, and some cabbage in there. I'm worried. I'm not a big cheese guy. I don't like cheese, so I was like, that's the perfect thing to shove a bunch of disgusting cheese in.
Yeah.
They don't do it, though. I was like, this is perfect. Now, you can do it. Apparently, they have like a mushroom and Swiss one. There are a couple of different varieties, but the one I had is just the ground beef, cabbage, and onions, and it was delicious. It was amazing.
I love a little local delicacy, Chip.
Speaking of food.
Yep.
So and they fed us the entire time. Like the green room was just packed with food. It was amazing. We had another great lunch that was it was barbecue, and it was just like the best brisket and pork and chicken and baked beans, and it was great. But we got to talk about food for a second here. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a vacation thing that I think will make or break a hotel experience. All right.
Okay. Yeah, hit me.
Now, you could be a high roller.
Yep.
Okay, and go out for breakfast.
I
Great.
am.
Love it. Enjoy it. Going out for breakfast on vacation. But if you go to a hotel that has a free breakfast buffet.
Yeah.
That's something I really we really looked at when we drove out to San Diego for your wedding. Mark and I, we found that the Comfort Inn generally has a really good free breakfast.
A continental breakfast.
It's a continental breakfast, but it goes even like further than that, because I think continental breakfast, you can have like a couple of pastries, some coffee, maybe some fruit or whatever. Like this goes, I don't even know what the exact definition of a continental breakfast is. I'll have to look it up. But like this was like all of that plus, you know, eggs, sausage, bacon, a waffle making
maker
station,
yep,
cereal, you know, danishes, you know, the whole 9 yards. And it was great. It was, I think, a Fairfield Inn, maybe. And here's the thing, though. This is what puts it over the top, Thomas. And this is what made it feel more like a tropical vacation to me in the middle of Nebraska. Okay? You go down in the morning. Great spread for breakfast. I was like, this is amazing. So they have the indoor area where people are sitting. It's kind of nice. It's a nice area, a bunch of tables for people to sit at. And there's some families there or whatever, kids running around a little bit. But they had an outside area, too, a little patio.
Dining al fresco.
Al fresco, and it's breakfast outdoors is what it is. If you have lunch or dinner outside, that's fine. That's great. We do that. But outdoor breakfast, that means you're on vacation, I feel like.
Yeah.
I know you live in Los Angeles, and maybe you can do this most times, but like that's something special that to have breakfast outside, and again, it was just on this nice little shaded porch, but it looked over just like it was literally just a grass yard, and then some woods and a train track that went behind it. So you're not looking at anything too crazy, tropical, beautiful, but it was like there's birds out there singing, and every morning I just sat there, probably for like an hour, just breakfast by myself, and just enjoyed the sights and sounds outside. And outdoor breakfast, man, it makes you feel tropical.
No, it's fantastic. We did something similar. We had a breakfast outdoors in La Jolla a couple of weeks ago when we were there.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. There is something else about it. I even told my wife when we were doing it, I was like, this, for whatever reason, this feels like we're on a vacation. Like, it was a nice restaurant with an outdoor, like we kind of see the ocean too. That helped. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Breakfast outdoors.
If you can do this, if you're watching, listen at home, go this Saturday. If you don't have anything to do, like, okay, first of all, this Saturday, if you can, go out to breakfast if you want. Treat yourself. Mm-hmm. Or if not, just take your breakfast. Go outside. Sit out on your backyard. Sit out on the front stoop, wherever you are, the balcony of your apartment, if the weather's nice, and just sit out there and have breakfast. You will feel like you're on vacation. And it was the best.
I do have, okay, one thing I want to double back. Do you think there is any chance that this young man sporting the Hawaiian shirt that picked you up, who's a big comedy fan, may have done even the slightest Google on who Chip Chantry is and seeing that he's hosted, at that point, 17 episodes of tropical comedy podcasts where we wear Hawaiian shirts and talk about Hawaiian shirts every week? Do you think there's a chance he might have?
I would have loved that, and I think they might have looked it up a little bit, but I don't. I brought it up, and he seemed pretty surprised and excited that I said that. So it wasn't like, I did this. No, he. I think this is legitimately because he even said, he's like, oh yeah, it's my dad's shirt. It used to be my dad's shirt, and I just like wearing it. So yeah,
my first Hawaiian shirt was my dad's shirt.
Okay, see?
That's a great entryway shirt. It had parrots on it. It was roughly the same color red as yours right now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no. He's born into it. He's born into a burnt one.
This is a burnt one family, and but there was a couple other guys like wearing just around Norfolk, just wearing those Hawaiians, and I was like, these are guys that I could talk to. You know, they just seem disarmed. They just seem fun, and everybody was like, just again, I can't overstate like how friendly everybody was, and it was a lot of fun. I did the opposite of vacation. I did some work there. Literally drove a combine. That was fun. They took you know what a combine is? Like a giant tractor that like that like harvests corn and takes it in and does the whole 9 yards. Yeah, like a giant tractor. They took us to I gotta tell you. And I won $100 besides getting paid for being out there. Okay, so the second day they take us out to they first of all they just chauffeur us everywhere. It was great. We had these this great couple, Dave and Janelle. They took me and my buddy Adam, another comedian. They took us to and from everywhere we needed to go. They picked us up, and they took us to the Johnny Carson home, the house, and which is like the museum. We got to like tour it. We watched this like video about it. They had this great spread, and then the guy who owns it, he just does this thing, and he's done every year. And I had heard little whispers of what's happening. He took us out to the driveway, and it's a detached garage, and just like you see in just middle America, and apparently Johnny Carson had it, or at least there in the video we were watching, this video from 1980 where Johnny Carson went back to the house to visit the family that was living there then, and they had a basketball hoop up on the driveway on the garage as you'll see, right? Yeah. And the guy who does it says, all right, any comedians, we have a basketball challenge, and he had a couple basketballs, and he's like, there's like a 3-point line there. It was just basically a line in the driveway, and he's like, anybody who makes, we have a little bit of time before you have to move on to the next thing. Anybody who makes 3-3-pointers in a row, I will give you $100. I'll give you $100 cash.
But how did you get $100, Chip?
I know, right? I stole it from one of the guys who made 3 baskets in a row.
And when I realized he had cash, I punched him, and I made $100.
I made 100 smackers. I gotta say, I haven't played basketball in a while. I don't think I've shot a basketball probably in a couple of years. I was thinking about it. I was like, when was the last time I actually played hoops?
So there's a reasonable amount of rest to be expected.
100%. And I took that first shot, man, and there's people around. It's the other comics, and there's like 20 volunteers. Everybody's hanging out, and then it was rough. It was an air ball. Like I was like, this is not. And I almost quit then because it's very informal, but like everybody's watching. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. And there were some guys, some comics, like they were feeling pretty good about it, and so I just airballed it. I was like, well, I guess I got to keep trying. Thomas, next 3 in a row. Bang, 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 right in a row. I was the first guy to do it. I was the only one who had done it so far, and went wild. Everyone went nuts. Where he was great. So he presents me with a $100 bill, and there were 3 other comics there with me that were doing it, and they were really on it. And the guy had told us, he's like, I have not given out a $100 bill in a couple of years.
Wow.
But a couple years ago, I gave out 4 $100 bills the one day, and there was 4 guys, and we're like, we got to do this. And within the next 15 minutes, all 4 of us nailed it. The man handed out 4 $100 bills, so I made $100.
Ship, unbelievable.
Johnny Carson's basketball hoop. Oh, so then they take us to this like tractor company called Dinkles. Give him a shout out, Dinkles.
Yeah,
Tractor company in Norfolk, and they showed us around. And they were like showing us like all the different pieces of machinery. And then they had a guy with a tractor and a guy with a giant combine. And they let us hop up in the cabs, and like they drove us around, and then they got us in the driver's seat. And I was like driving around a combine for a little bit. And I think I have a new calling in life. I think I can. I think I'm going to drive a combine. I think we're going to get a farm, and I'm going to drive that combine around. Okay, you've seen a combine, right, Tom?
Yeah, no, they're humongous. And I think it's so savvy of them to be like, this is something we see every day. People here drive this every day.
Yeah.
As a city mouse in the country.
With a fresh $100 bill in my pocket.
With a fresh $100. I can't imagine anything more exciting or like unique in experience. Like they're dialed into what city folk might find interesting. I think it's very, very smart. I mean, they were showing you quite the hospitality, Chip.
They were great. Okay, I'm going to ask you right now. If, Tommy, you're a farmer, or let's just say you're a agriculture enthusiast, and you wanted to purchase a brand new combine. Mm-hmm. Brand new.
Yeah.
How much you paying?
It's specialty equipment. It's heavy equipment. I'm going to go half the price of an entry-level home in the town I grew up in.
Okay.
Which I'm going to put it somewhere around like $150,000.
$150,000. I actually guess right around $100,000.
Uh-huh.
$800,000.
And they let you drive it?
And they let me drive. Why? How? This is derelict in duty is really what this is. This is dangerous. They just let me drive around with this thing. I was like, I'm driving around with over $250,000 worth of property. Oh, and then they say they burn up sometimes too. It's because it's like things get hot. The wheat, the shaft just gets hot sometimes. And like you're if you don't service it the right way, they're just like it's a big piece of machinery. It's hot. And it's on a hot day, and it might be dry. And like, think about all that grain, or if the corn is dry, or whatever.
Yeah,
and you're taking it in, and something catches. He's like, that stuff just goes up quick, just over $750,000, just out.
How could that go as wrong as possible? Like, that's just what's funny to me is like we let the Caucasian comedian.
Yeah.
Drive the compound, and you go straight through somebody's living room? Do you hit the barn?
I just toppled Johnny Carson's boyhood home.
Yeah.
Just get run out of town with just like pitchforks and torches.
On the way out of the cockpit after you tore down the house, you shoot one last 3.
Yeah. Later, skaters. Boom. Out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You nail a hook.
Yep. Nail a hook. Grab a couple runzas.
Get out of town. But so you drove the compound, and then what was next on the hit parade, dude? Was that kind of it?
That was kind of it. Then back to the show, back to the hotel, and then our last show was a Saturday night, and the crowds were amazing. It was so much fun. They were great, and the comics were great. From all over. It was nice to hang out because I don't do that many festivals.
Yeah.
And now I'm almost kind of kicking myself that I haven't done more in the past. This one I think is kind of special, but just like it was just we hung out. And then there was a guy. So Johnny Carson did magic when he was like a teenager. He started out like he would do like magic shows or whatever, and then he got into radio and into comedy. And so it's a 3-night festival. The first night is I got in kind of late, so I didn't get to go to the show. But they do a magic show, and it's like apparently it's like these big time magicians, like apparently it was an amazing show. So the first night's a magic show, and then the next 2 nights are comedy. But I met 2 of the magicians on the way out. They were just leaving like the next day, and so I just said hi to them briefly. But then the one magician stuck around. This guy Joe Monty, and I think he's from the Bronx originally. He lives in L.A. now. Lives in Woodland Hills, I think. And he was saying how he's just been around forever. He spent time. He stayed at the Outrigger in Waikiki. Like he performed there for like a year back in the 90s. Yeah, as a magician. Like that's what he did.
That's where the Blue Note is, Chip.
That's what I told him. I was like, I'm going to be out there. So he did that for a year. And then he's like, so after the show, the comics would go back to the hotel and we would just like hang out in the lobby. And he's like showing us card tricks and like just blowing us away with card tricks, which was just the best, which is so much fun. And then I found out, are you Freaks and Geeks guy? Do you remember Freaks and Geeks? Do you remember it's the last episode, the final episode of the series, Jason Segel's character gets in with a new girlfriend and she gets him into disco and he does a disco contest and he's like dancing all serious and he's gonna win this, but then he loses because this guy does like disco magic and like does all these like magic tricks as he's like dancing disco. That's Joe Monty, the guy who he was Eugene, the magic disco guy.
That's unbelievable.
So that was a lot of fun.
That's a much better story than like, and this guy I met, he reminded me of that scene.
Yeah.
That's wild. This guy has a lot of touchstones for you, Chip. The Outrigger, Freaks and Geeks, which is one of your all-time favorites.
All-time favorites, yeah.
Dude, what a weekend.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, I love magic, dude. I love magic more than I even care to admit.
Yeah.
There's the child portion of me, the part of me that does want the shade up, just delights in a little MAGIC.
It's great. Oh, and then so we meet 2 of the other comedians as they were leaving the hotel. The one afternoon we were coming in, and they were leaving to go to the airport, and it was with one of the other like ambassadors for the thing. So they introduced us, like, oh, the comedian. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, we missed the show, and there was this. This young woman, she was a magician, and apparently she's like amazing, but she's like really like kind of like intently looking at me, like really kind of like I'm like, oh hey, how are you, blah blah blah, and she's like really, it's almost like she's like checking me out or something. I'm like, this is like very strange. Like it was like, oh, like hi, I'm getting this like weird this vibe that's just like just looking at me, checking me, and then I was like, okay, that was kind of strange. Like, but she was very nice, whatever. But I was like, wow, I don't know if she was like starstruck by a comedian or what was going on. But she's this like big magician. And then later on, my buddy who was also there was like, yeah, she was like really staring at me. Like she was like it was like she was almost like she was like checking me out or whatever. And then we realized it's just like the magician's eyes. The magician's gaze.
People talk about this a lot.
The magician's gaze that was like, they were just so intent. And maybe I'm now hypnotized. Like, maybe now I have superpowers. Maybe she has taken some magic energy from me. But there was something that she did to each of us individually that we didn't know, that we just were just like, this was the most intense interaction we've ever had that lasted 30 seconds. See, comedians don't have that. Comedians we just have googly eyes. That's all.
No, comedians rarely can even look a grown-up in the eyes.
Oh, eye contact. Eye contact, first of all, is just, that's a chore.
Yeah, but that would be quite a trick. Like, What if she was staring at both of you at the same time? What if that's her trick? Everybody in the room. She's like one of those paintings where wherever you stand in the room, it's staring right at you. Maybe she's got that going on.
Honestly, I think that's what I think she was workshopping a new trick where she was looking at both of us at the same time.
If a man had that power, just staring at everybody at all times in the same room, everybody thinks they're looking at him. He's just going to get slap after slap in the face. That's creepy. That's creepy behavior from a young man.
Lots of drinks thrown right in the puss. Yeah,
right in the puss. Yeah. Well, Chip, dude, I love that you found a little tropical respite in the middle of the country. And in the middle of the country,
I think a bunch of burnt ones.
A bunch of burnt ones.
Norfolk, Nebraska.
You know what else helps you find some tropical respite, Chip?
What's that, Tommy?
This right here. Do you want to get into it, buddy? Or are you one today?
I'm one today, buddy. Let's slather on some.
Get a little slather going. And once again, we are using Hawaiian Tropic Sheer Touch. I've got the 50 over here. Oh, yeah. I was already feeling pretty good today, Chip. I know it's like a lot of wild stuff going out in the world.
Yeah. That you have to engage in, but then you have to disengage sometimes and just kind of take a trip on the beach. Have some outdoor breakfast is what I'm saying. Every once in a while, you got to have your breakfast outside.
Yeah, and you got to sunscreen responsibly when you're outdoors.
Yeah,
But, okay. I was already feeling pretty good. This is great, Chip.
Kicked it up a notch, buddy.
Congratulations on a good fest. It sounds like you'll probably be saying yes to a couple of more of those in the near future.
Say yes to the fest.
Opposed to your customary, I'm not going.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to interact with other comics. Why would I want to do that?
No, it's so fun once you do it. It is a hassle to think about getting on the plane and then taking an extra drive, it sounds like, in this case. But you know who's not scared of a challenge?
Who's that?
The Swiss gentleman we're going to talk about.
Man,
Chip, can you take us to Switzerland one time? Let us hear what's going on.
Yeah, speaking of a landlocked country that's not necessarily tropical at all, this Swiss mister is this gentleman in Switzerland. He is a competitive weightlifter, so like power lifter. So this guy is this guy's no joke, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to talk about people talk about cold plunges on podcasts. I mean, that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
This dude took the cold plunge to a new height, or actually probably a new low. Decided to set the world record. He had found out that the world record for basically being buried in snow with very little clothing on. He was just wearing. So, for example, he was just wearing his swim trunks. And I guess people in Switzerland have swim trunks. And he had his friends bury him in many feet of snow. He had his head sticking out, but he had his own little igloo kind of nest situation there that they just piled on a whole bunch of snow. And he saw that the old record was like an hour and 45 minutes, that somebody could just basically naked lay in snow for an hour and 45 minutes and withstand it. He's like, I'm going to do 2 hours. And he did just that. He had they piled him up with snow with his little head sticking out. And he stayed wearing just swim trunks packed in snow for over 2 hours. He is a world record holder now.
This is so unbearable to me, Chip. Like, I cannot, I mean, I live in Los Angeles. I cannot handle even a little bit of cold.
Yeah.
This is beyond. This is beyond me.
Yeah. This is mental and physical dexterity and toughness that you nor I have. We do not possess any of that.
No.
Like, you ever try to get in a pool and you're like, no thanks, I'm just going to sit on the lounge chair.
Oh, yeah. I've backed out of pools on a warm day because it was a little too chilly for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I read the article. You sent it to me. He wanted to prove that the human body can do amazing things. That was like his big reason for doing it. Also, I assume he's jacked out of his mind. He's like a power lifter, a professional athlete of some sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, just you know what doesn't help you fight with your big old muscles, the cold.
Yeah.
Like the cold can make anybody. And honestly, if you were to tell me like it was deadly to be naked in snow, like, and he's packed in, he's covered on all sides,
just the head sticking out. And he said that the worst part wasn't the cold. This is crazy. It wasn't necessarily the cold. It was the weight of the snow pushing down on him. He said his shoulders and his back were all screwed up because, like, it was like they put a number of feet of snow on top. Like, I don't know why they had to, like, heap it on that much, but it was a number of feet of snow. So it was heavy. So, like, he was like, that was actually the worst part.
I wonder, like, can that even be possible? Like, I think he's just so cold that everything feels awful. And he's like, oh, that's what. Also, like, you're in fresh snow, right? You're a warm thing. Some of the snow is going to melt on your back and then reform into ice. And I can get that.
Yeah.
That's going to be really uncomfortable to sit on after a little bit. But you're so numbed up.
Yeah. You have to be numb. And, like, just getting him up then, like, so they showed a little video and it's like they dug him out and then getting up. And obviously, like, he had trouble, like, standing up and walking for a little bit. Like, I'm sure his muscles are just completely seized.
Are you not worried about frostbite?
Exactly. That's what I don't understand. It's like, how is he not completely gangrene at this point? Like, just we've seen documentaries about the Revolutionary War. We know how that works.
I watched 1923.
Right.
I saw how that ended.
First of all, I will say he got the record. He laid in snow for 2 hours. He is in Switzerland. I kind of thought maybe that was just how they slept every night. Apparently not.
I did have a friend that went to that snow hotel.
Oh,
like
the one that's like made
hotel.
out of like snow and ice. Where is that? Is that in Norway? Maybe.
It's somewhere Nordic. Yeah, it's somewhere.
And what? Tell me about that. Again, the opposite of Waikiki. But go ahead.
The opposite of Waikiki. It's just like it's an experience you pay for, and it really is just like your room is ice. And there's a bed there, but like it's like, you know, you're warm enough in the bed, but it is just cold in the whole place. And it's supposed to be beautiful. It really is just like, you want a new life experience you haven't had before. You have too much money. Yeah. Come sleep in an ice castle.
Yeah. What if, like, I would do that, but like it would just be a motel with no windows in February. Be like, here's something you haven't done.
Yeah. Just crank up the AC.
Just the most budget version of that.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, just getting a new experience.
So I think this guy did kind of have a win-win situation though, because he got the world record for being buried in snow for 2 hours. He also could have gotten the record for the funniest way to die.
When I heard it, I was like, I think the world record he's trying to set is for the most shrinkage while having the hardest nipples.
It went inside. Yeah.
It's an innie. It's an innie now.
It's an innie now. And yeah, those nips must have been tender for a couple of days. I'm going to have to.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the thermometers are popped for a while.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. Is that something that appeals to you at all?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Have you ever thought about setting a world record? Like, what would your world record be, do you think?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Were you a Guinness kid? Did you?
Yeah. I mean, like the obese twins on the motorcycle were like my idols growing up. Yeah, I would get the new Guinness book every year.
Yeah, it was my favorite thing to look at. My parents had like some old copies, and it just smelled weird. You know, it's just like that old book smell. And it was. And do you remember there was like a section that they used? I don't know if they still do this, but there was a section that like instead of the pages being white, the pages were gray.
Yeah.
And it was like, because these are like, we don't really necessarily want kids to see these because they're like sort of they're dangerous.
Oh, really? I don't remember the
it was something along those lines. They were like more risque or dangerous, or like this could kill you by doing this. But like just those old pictures of I think it's Chang and Ang, the conjoined twins.
Oh yeah.
Like those guys, the Siamese twins, and then the is it Robert Wadlow something? I think the world's tallest man. You know, like 9 feet tall, and they just creep me out and then they're like the smallest lady. She was like this, I think lady from like India, I think, and she was literally like a foot tall, and you're just like, it creeped me out so much, but like I was just so invested in it.
Yeah, just fascinating, like the scope of the human experience and what can be accomplished. It was always really inspiring to me. I could flip through those things all day long, and I would daydream about like, how do I get in this book?
Yeah, what can I do? Like, I'm gonna juggle the most hula hoops. I'm going to I'm gonna sit on the most balloons in 5 minutes. Yeah, and so these people have these records. I'm not going to the snow to do these records.
No.
I think we could do like some sunburnt ones though. Like what could we do? Like tropical, like much more easy, maybe.
Well, I don't know about easy, but like the first thing that pops in my mind is the exact opposite. It's like he's a frozen one. The burnt version is just no base tan, going out there, no sunscreen, and just sizzling. Like how long can you be at the equator with a level 1 white skin, no sunscreen, and just power it out?
Let it burn, baby, burn. Like just two hours of just taking it with one of those like metal 60s. Things.
Reflector fans or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be a version. That might be a version.
I think we do that. Like, or just, I got 3 words for you right now: lava skinny dipping. I mean, just go for it. If you're gonna go for it, go for it. Tom,
just jump in a lava pit.
Yeah, he got the world record for being the stupidest person alive.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you get a record for suicide?
I don't think. Probably not. You probably don't. Or like, okay, here's another one that's more like, what if it like slathered in? I'm gonna go the other way. Slathered in the most sunscreen. Like just having like 2 inches of sunscreen all over your body at all times. Like you're just like walking around like a walking block of cream cheese.
Just the full sunscreen mummy experience.
Yeah. The sunny mummy. Yeah.
I bet it would smell nice.
Yeah. This man was buried in a pile of 150 ukuleles. Just like me laying there, just under a pile of ukuleles. Hey guys, what's up? And I'm just in the sand with just ukuleles on top of me. But I'm like, I can do this.
The longest time buried under ukuleles, or like the fastest person to solve a Rubik's Cube after having 14 Mai Tais.
It's still ongoing. It's been 13 years.
It's not going to do it, but the Mai Tais keep coming.
Speaking of drinks, what about world's fastest brain freeze from drinking strawberry daiquiris? just one big sip right off the bat, just brain freeze immediately. World record right there.
Yeah, you really gotta train for that one.
Yeah.
What about just like the first person to bite a shark in the water?
That's man bite shark is, if that's not a t-shirt, that's a t-shirt we're making right there.
I like it.
Man bite shark.
Man bite shark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just having maybe it's something as simple as like wearing the most lays. Like I could do that. Just like, just keep throwing the lays on me and I'm good. Like I'm not chilly at all and I'm feeling pretty decent right now.
How about this is one I think I could do easily without even trying. Most questions asked to a captain on a 1-hour dinner sale.
So, how's this work? Is this starboard right? Yeah. You just keep, and you have to not only continually ask questions, but ask them in a way where you don't get thrown overboard.
Oh yeah, that's.
Do you know what I mean? Like
that's
there is
harder.
That is harder. Like you can just like spout out questions at a captain, but a captain is he's not gonna have time for your crap.
Yeah, like every 4th question is just like, what's it feel like to look so handsome in that?
Exactly.
Hat?
That's what you have to do. You have to keep throwing it. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. How tall are you? Just like make him feel good about himself.
The open water's got to add at least 3 inches to your height.
Yeah.
Just visually, you look stunning out here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what's this crank do? What's this button I keep pushing do?
Yeah. Are there really mermaids? Yeah.
Do you have food for my cockatiel?
Yeah. What's your middle name? Can I go diving? Do you like scuba? What's scuba stand for? Is snorkeling better?
What's Captain Crunch all about? You ever met him?
Are mackerels really holy? But anyway, this guy, he has the record for being the most frozen. I think you and I could have the record for being the most chill.
Oh.
I think that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Just the two most chill guys. Just post it up, hanging out, be like, everybody's like, man, these guys are chill. And then we get a world record for that.
Yeah, I think they just need to take our cell phones and internet.
Yep.
And as long as I don't know
all of our internal thoughts, maybe a quick lobotomy, something along those lines.
We're just hooked up to an EKG, so we know the heart's going all right.
Just how chill we are.
Yeah.
We're so cool. Just beep, beep.
Maybe can this be on a different scale though? Can it be like chill for just incredibly anxious hypochondriacs?
Because that would be the accomplishment for us.
Yeah.
We're two of the least chill guys in the world. So if we can become chill, that is a record worth making. Yeah.
Oh man, I wonder. So this is like more in the realm of possibility. Like, is one of our days in Waikiki, because we're still dialing in how many days we're actually going to be there.
Yes.
But is it dedicated to setting that chill record?
I think maybe it is. Like, how do you go about getting in that? Like, I'm sure the guy from Switzerland, like, he did some cold plunges. He prepared his body over probably the course of months. It's like when Joey Chestnut, or who's the famous eater guy? Like
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, like they eat to stretch out that stomach. Like, how do we stretch out our soul stomachs?
I can tell. Well, first of all, respect to Joey Chestnut. He's back in the hot dog contest this year.
Is he?
I just saw that news. I think he got kicked out. I haven't read a whole article in 50 years.
Sure.
I read headlines and then make assumptions.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure.
Welcome to America, Thomas.
I'm pretty sure he got kicked out of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest because he got a promotion deal for vegan hot dogs or like meatless hot dogs or something like that. And they're just like, well, then you can't come to our thing.
Amazing.
And I think he's back in it this year. Yeah, they're really
baby.
training. But I will tell you, personal experience, like the first vacation I ever went on, that was purely for relaxation, like a relaxing vacation, was to where we're going. It was to Waikiki.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to prepare. I didn't know how to do it. And I will tell you that it wasn't until day 3 of 4 that I mentally arrived in Hawaii.
So it took those clicking down days to get in the zone.
It took those days to get there mentally. I was there physically, and it was amazing the whole time. But like then I sunk deeper and deeper, and on the 3rd day, I was in a just state I've never been in my whole life.
And then you woke up on the 5th day with no kidney. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
I was a tourista.
Speaking of being buried in ice.
Yeah. Ooh, do you think he really got a world record, or was he just harvested?
I think he may have been harvested. The Swiss, they do things differently over there.
Yeah. I mean, their cheese has holes in it. Why wouldn't there be a little incision right by your kidney after you do some ice stuff?
Yeah.
But to your point, since I've gone back, like I've kind of, it just gets quicker and quicker every time that I get into that state, I think.
Yeah.
So
see, that's kind of nice. See, you're locking in. I like it.
You can chill out, but I think the quickest way to get there is just dedicating time to doing nothing, to just being there.
Yeah.
It's like you're staying in a nice place. You're just hanging out at the beach. You're having some nice meal. You're not thinking about it. You're just staying at the hotel or whatever, or doing little walking things. Just having an empty schedule for a little bit there, and you can zoom in. So maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to get there a day earlier than we were even planning on.
Yeah.
And just hang out with the fams, right there on the beach with the burnt ones that show up early.
Yep. Yeah.
Just a relax off, dude. Just a chilling out.
Just a hardcore head-to-head relaxathon.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm in. Who could be the most relaxed? Yeah.
Yeah. Get there together.
I like it. I love it.
And aren't some of the records are like set in teams, right?
Yeah, of course. So we could be like tandem
relaxing. It's not even a contest. Together, we're trying to lower the heart rates, lower the blood pressure, lower the anxiety for the group.
While riding a tandem bicycle.
Yes. Yeah. And hopefully if we put our money where our mouth is and get, use this as motivation to get as fit as we've said we are, then we can be the skinniest non-twins.
Yes.
To ever rode a motorcycle next to each other.
Yeah, we go the opposite from the two big guys.
Yeah.
It's like the before and after pictures. I'm into that. I'm 100%.
This is completely off topic, but there is a very morbid lane of YouTube.
Okay.
That is just looking at grave sites.
Wait. Either you've showed me this.
I've showed you this before. I sent you this before.
And it was go ahead. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this guy, tons of views, very successful channel.
No pun intended. Yep.
He goes to look at the grave sites of celebrities or people of interest, and one episode or video or whatever you want to call it, he went to the final resting place of the world's largest twins that rode motorcycles in the Guinness Book of Records.
I'm gonna say that guy's kind of a burnt one. He's got that's his beach on Waikiki.
Oh, completely. Like is
just a graveyard in North Carolina or wherever it might be.
Yeah, no, he's following his passion. I think that's something we're all about, is like living a life you're excited about.
Doing his thing, documenting it. Yeah.
Documenting it and having pretty good success doing this thing. And it's like, it made zero effort to make it look like, he had professional experience or whatever. It's just like raw. I'm out here. I'm doing it. And people are finding it morbidly fascinating, myself included. It's pretty tough to get my attention from anything. And I think I locked in on that whole video. And then I had to send it to my buddy Chip.
Yep. And I locked in on the whole video too. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, God, this is interesting. I'm glad we're back in the world record lane. I haven't thought about a world record in a while.
I think we could come up with something between now and November that we can set a record for.
Yeah. If you have any ideas, drop them in the comments. What world record could we set before or in Waikiki?
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I'm ready. I'm ready to do this.
I'm ready to do it, but I'm also very committed to not putting in a ton of effort.
Right. What's the easiest world record we can do?
I think that's it. What's the easiest world record we can do?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
We'll keep thinking.
Yeah.
We'll keep thinking, buddy. All right. So shifting gears.
Yeah, do we have time to do this last one, or do we want to save it for next week? Or
you know what? Let's save it for next week.
I think this is a nice cliffhanger of what shirt do you want to wear, or maybe not wear, that might get you in the most trouble on a cruise.
Yeah, what shirt could you wear that's just gonna get you in a little bit of trouble?
Yep, we have the shirt. We
know the answer. You will soon find the answer next week on episode 19 of the Sunburnt podcast. We are 162 days away from Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise. Our dream for the year. You're very, very welcome. Tickets are for sale right now on the BlueNoteHawaii.com. We also have links on sunburntpodcast.com. We're at Sunburnt Pod on all social networking sites that we've felt the need to sign up for.
Yep.
And yeah, Chip, Dude, and also we're gonna be doubling up on episodes this week because next week I'm coming out to the East Coast to hang, buddy.
We're gonna go see Goose next week, buddy.
We're gonna go see Goose next week. I just saw their episode on tires from this season.
Yeah,
their 2-episode arc. It was very fun.
Yeah.
It made me even more excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm psyched.
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Well, until next time, stay burnt. Front desk.
Hi, this is Mr. Chantry in room 316. There is a naked man with a plastic knife standing in my room right now.
I'm calling the police right now.
Oh, wait. Do you guys have mirrors in your rooms?
Yes.
Oh, just the mirror. Never mind.
Oh, my God.